Hey guys, J-Games here again. This is going to be what if Naruto was half Senju, half otsutsuki. So basically, I'm going to go over how this would work. So Kushina would be an otsutsuki, Minato would be a Senju. And I'm going to tell you how Minato would be a Senju. First, we're going to change to Jiraiya's clan. So Jiraiya is from the tale of Jiraiya the Gallant, and I'm pretty sure the original name for Jiraiya in the tale of Jiraiya the Gallant, his name would be Jiraiya Ogata, I believe. So, assuming that'd be the same for the Naruto verse, Jiraiya Ogata would change to Jiraiya Senju. And then eventually he's paired with his fellow Sani and Tsunade. And honestly, Jiraiya and Tsunade are very estranged as well, to the point where they're not even related as Senju anymore. They say they share the same last name, and that's about it. Barely any blood goes between them at this point. Also, one thing, Tsunade is also partially, I think probably 75% Senju and 25% Uzumaki, as Mito wasn't Uzumaki. But that's all I'd really give Tsunade. So when her and Jiraiya do have a kid, well, that results in Minato, who's roughly around 93 to 95% Uzumaki. I'd go on 93, 5% Uzumaki. 93 to 95% Senju. I'm gonna go with the 93. So yeah, so 7% Senju. So let's see 70%. Not 70. SC 7% Uzumaki. Well, the chakra reserves are very large either way. So, yeah, it's kind of just freaky. So, Jiraiya basically just, well, we basically well, Minato's allowed to know his mother is, his father is, Jiraiya. Tsunade wasn't ready to have a son, as she her and Jiraiya had a kid like around a month after Dawn died. So yeah. So we can kind of just go on to Jiraiya. Jiraiya kind of lets Minato know who he is, but Jiraiya does say that he's on so many missions that are pretty dangerous that he can't bring Minato with him. But he'll make sure to send him letters and money all the time. And Minato accepts this. Eventually, Tsunade would come to Konoha just to see her son. Minato would tell that she's his mother, as he's never heard of any other Senju besides Jiraiya and Tsunade, put together at the age of 5, who his parents were. So, when she tried to walk to his house, he already asked for the name of Tsunade Senju. She nodded, and then he just hugged her, calling her mom. We fast forward to when Minato was 17. Wait, is that right? Yeah, when he's 17. When he's 17, well, basically, Tsunade taught him the secrets of her monstrous strength, and ended up teaching him how to summon slugs. Jiraiya already had slug summoning as well, but basically, Jiraiya was expert at healing and ninjutsu, not like Tsunade level expert, but still really good at it. He also had Hashirama's just healing factor, so yeah. He had Hashirama's healing factor. Tsunade didn't have Hashirama's healing factor, but still did pretty decent with it. And he also was young 24/7. But now we just move on to just when, I guess, Kushina would arrive on Earth. Kushina happened to be, well, basically one of Kaguya's servants, and went to the moon because she sensed Kaguya's chakra there, and when she sensed it, she realized it was probably just the husk of the Ten Tails. She immediately got enraged before calming down, realizing it's probably better for her. She doesn't imagine she doesn't have a job anymore, but she's happy that Kaguya is dead, which would mean that Ishiki is probably dead too. On the moon, she talks to Toneri and whatever's left of the general side of the part of the moon, which is they want to kill everyone on Earth. Kushina says they cannot Kushina says they can do that because Earth is living peaceful right now. There's still wars going on, but they're living creatures. Otsutsuki's fight all the time. All the moon people would be doing is not being any better than them. When Otsutsuki try to attack Kushina, thinks she's just some random servant, until Kushina bodies them all. Yeah, she did that with one hand, and did it effortlessly. But she was observing everyone on Earth, and realizes that well, there's a clan called the Hyuga that probably have Yakugan, and doesn't know that she wants to, well, go to where the village chakra seem the strongest. She best avoid showing off her Yakugan. What she would do is she would use her mastered Yang release to kind of alter her physical structure. It's honestly just her version of creation of all things. It's not good, but it's meh. So it's enough to alter her own like physical structure, but it takes up a lot of chakra to do so. And it's kind of like a permanent transformation jutsu. She can't undo it using yang release. When she does it, it stays there. All she has to do is just change something else. It can't go back to how it was previously. She changes her eyes to basically seem grayish in color. So yeah, she can still use her Byakugan by will, but her eye appearance is changed, but not the abilities of it. So yeah. So, pause. Basically, Kushina would arrive on Earth, and we kind of just investigate a bit of it, realizing that there's a clan called Kaguya Clan. No matter how much she hates this, it's the only way she'd pass. So she goes to Konoha, and basically is alter a bit more of her appearance. And when she arrives, her chakra levels seem pretty low. Well, for her, they're low. For Konoha, they think he's usually strong. Her chakra levels are matching at least the four-tailed beast. So she basically just talked to Hiruzen. She actually wants to live here, and Hiruzen asks what clan she's part of, and she says she's from Kaguya Clan. Well, she's a half-breed. That's why she's not insane. That's the main reason she's not insane. This is the main reason she's not insane. She's a half-breed. And Hiruzen smiles at that. And she asks Kushina, can you use Genkai? She analyzes Kaguya Clan thoroughly and says she can use like a low level of it. But she mixed in her Earth release and Fire Lightning release, and mimics the Tsuchikage's the Dust release. But on a much lower scale. It's not instant, much as it's slower. And also use Kaguya's ash killing bone technique. That's what Kushina uses. Hiruzen smirked at this, calling Kushina a prodigy, and telling her that she can live here in Konoha. By the way, I'm gonna go over something. So Minato's name in Konoha was changed to Minato no Mikasa to not anger the Uchiha. Plus, when Minato was a child, there's a ton of adult Uchiha, and like 2 adult Senju who were out of Konoha. This is the only person who can protect Minato is Hiruzen, and the Uchiha don't care about that. So yeah. So Minato in the academy did make good friends of 2 Uchiha, being Mikoto and Fugaku. Him and Mikoto did date for a bit when they're like 13 and 14, but they eventually broke up, and Mikoto went on to date Fugaku. Shockingly, everyone thought it was shocked that it didn't affect their relationship at all, but yeah. But Mikoto and Fugaku are aware that Minato is a Senju, and they realize that he actually bears no hatred towards anyone or anything, not even the Uchiha. By the time Minato had told Fugaku his name, Fugaku didn't care. Minato's been the nicest person ever. He's even helped out the Uchiha clan. So yeah. So with this, well, when people that know Minato's true identity. Fugaku, Mikoto, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kushina, and Hiruzen. Kushina would still be in Konoha, actually end up meeting Minato, and her and Minato become good friends. Minato also has Team 7, and they find out his name is Minato Senju. But always wasn't fazed by that. Eventually, Minato came out to the Uchiha clan telling them that he started hiding his identity so long his name is Minato Senju. He wishes to end the feud between the Uchiha and Senju currently, and if they don't like that he's been hiding it for so long, they can kill him. They can kill him where he stands. They can all the frustration that they want. He won't fight back. Few of the Uchiha police force walk with Minato, and like they're about to hit him, so they pull Minato in, telling them that he's helped out their clan more than they can imagine. More than he can imagine. They will not hurt him in any way. In fact, the Uchiha and Senju feud is broken right here and now. Minato would nod, and actually ask if that means that they're to move on to feud with the Hyuga, and they nod. Minato just laughs, and at this, well, that again gives him an ally being in the Uchiha. So Minato selected Hokage. The Uchiha don't problem with this at all. They ended the Hyuga feud, the Senju feud, and he's best friends with Fugaku, to the point where even announced if he's basically when he's as Hokage, everyone was shocked that the votes were all from Minato, all from the Uchiha. Even Danzo and Hiruzen are confused. Jiraiya isn't. Tsunade is though. At this point, by the time Minato made Hokage, Obito still died, Rin still died. Him and Kushina are married. But yeah. Also, Minato kind of wiped out multiple small nations associated with each village. That's why he has a no kill order or on-site order for every village. He found any small nation associated with their enemies, he'd march right into it where he knew there'd be a platoon that's going to be waiting for him, and he wiped out the whole village. That's just how strong he was. There was a village that says the hidden rain associated with the hidden cloud. Minato would wipe out that whole village in the span of an hour and leave by himself. This way as we're on, so I ordered from every single village. Also, at this point, this Minato Hokage, the only person who can outmatch his chakra levels is literally just Hashirama and Hagoromo. Maybe Ashura. Just those 3-4 people who can outmatch him in chakra levels. Just them. Not even Kyuubi can do that. So yeah. Plus Minato's a mastered sage of Toad and Slug Sage mode. You know, Slug Sage mode, plus him having a mastery off of natures, plus yin yang release. You get to use wood release on a very small scale. At the best, you can create a small house, and that's it. So yeah. But Minato can unlock it through just harsh training. Like, he trained so hard that his body was basically torn to shreds at some points. But yeah. So the Uchiha don't actually have any regrets. And when the Naruto's attacking, no one like, this is just Danzo trying to push the agenda of the Uchiha did it, but no one believes them because they support the Hokage. And Uchiha is basically the third highest ranking person in the village. Besides literally Minato, Hiruzen, and that's it. Fugaku's the third highest ranking in the village. The elders and Danzo, no one cares about them at all. Fugaku's the third highest ranking in the village. And when it came to being Hokage, Fugaku didn't want it. He thought it was something because of what Minato was, even without a family to take care of. Besides Kushina, but yeah. But we're going on to Naruto's birth. Kushina would basically still become the Naruto's in Cherokee when she got to Konoha, saying that she's willing to take out the mantle for it, and Minato agreed. No, Minato, I mean, Hiruzen agreed to that, and so did Mito. But with how old Mito was at this point, she stepped outside Konoha in like a small town. Well, not even a small town, it was an isolated place. And Mito understood why. But yeah. Kushina became the Cherokee of the Nine Tails, and now the birth of Naruto. So Kushina's basically pushing out baby Naruto, and well, by the time the baby Naruto's pushed out, Kushina's body is just, she wasn't meant for childbirth. She was just not ready for that at all. And then, well, Obito would suddenly go outside the hideout, summon the Nine Tails, then go back in, and actually, well, it's Kushina trying to get back up, and she feels like she's dying now because the Nine Tails is outside of her body. Before she didn't even see it, she's grabbed from behind by the masked man, and stabbed over and over right in the back. That Kushina hit the ground dead, and Minato's never felt such rage in his life. This Minato proceeds to basically body Obito in seconds, and it's probably like 5 minutes at most. And with that, he beats down the Nine Tails. Obito got back up, and tried to actually do the Nine Tails again, and bring the Nine Tails inside her Konoha. But as soon as the Uchiha actually stopped by Danzo from leaving, Minato arrived, telling the Uchiha to fight. And the Uchiha nodded as they all fighting to the Nine Tails with the help of Minato backing them. Or Minato and the Nine Tails with the help of the Uchiha backing him. Actually, Hyuga began allying themselves with Uchiha, as Hyuga are actually able to help them. When the Uchiha and Hyuga were fighting, Minato immediately yelled at them to stop fighting. And they did. So yeah. Oh, pause. So yeah, so Minato, the Uchiha, and the Hyuga have been working side by side, and they defeat the Nine-Tailed Fox. But the downside, well, as soon as Minato had used a bit of wood release to bind on one of the Nine-Tails' legs. Well, with this, he's basically holding it down, telling Fugaku to basically genjutsu it. You notice that Minato realizes that Fugaku and Hiyashi are gone. Only see Fugaku and Hiyashi both thrown to the ground, and it's a very beaten up Obito standing over them. Now Minato tried to help, but he realizes he's still holding down the Nine Tails. Before he started basically trying to drain its chakra using his wood release, which he usually knew how to do that. Suddenly, he's stabbed right in the neck by Obito. Minato coughs up blood before grabbing Obito by the neck so fast that Obito didn't even have time to have a Sharingan process that. He's uppercutted right in the chin so hard that he sent flying. Minato pulls out of his neck as it regenerates a little bit. But Minato uses lots of bits of chakra as he has enough tails actually. He has not enough tails, enough power to actually probably just still match around I would say barely get close to the One Tails. We use all the chakra he has left to seal away the full Nine Tails and try to stun Naruto. Fugaku and Mikoto both run and he yelling Minato. And Minato basically just coughing up blood and dying, saying, "I leave Naruto in your hands." And with that, he passes out and dies. Kushina and Minato are both given burials. Kushina was actually a pretty notable shinobi. When it came to the Hidden Rain, Kushina didn't realize that this is stuff that the otsutsuki would do. She refused to let that village be tormented. So when it came to some Hidden Leaf villagers trying to attack it, she beat them all up. She beat them up. And that's actually leads Naruto having at least one parent figure. But the parent figure is killed around the time that the parent figure he had adopted Yahiko and Konan. Because at this point, Yahiko, Konan, and Naruto were raised as siblings by Nagato's mother, who taught Nagato basic Uzumaki abilities. This is adding on the power of Nagato, actually. This is why I'm doing it, really. Naruto at least needs a little bit of a challenge. So, with the Rinnegan, Nagato is actually able to have his own ability of the Mantai Kagura, and basically has all the abilities of Karin, actually. Just times 10. Or times 100, because it's chakra. So, yeah. So, now with this, we move on to just Naruto and, let's go on to Naruto and all of them. Wait, pause. We go on to Naruto, who's basically just raised by, not even like raised in the Hyuga compound or the Uchiha compound. Really, actually, well, Uchiha and Hyuga both actually volunteered to actually help them. The Uchiha and Hyuga do make a peace treaty. And Uchiha are actually able to actually make a treaty of actually acknowledging some of these things the Hyuga do better. He actually is even able to swallow his pride to admit some things the Uchiha do better than them. We say their eyes are better until they reach someone like Fugaku. Basically saying that their prodigy being Itachi, Shisui, Fugaku. The only people who can actually outshine the whole Hyuga clan by themselves. And well, this did lead to a truce between the Uchiha and the Hyuga. Now the Uchiha are even less sus, because the Hokage called upon them specifically to fight the Nine Tails, and they won. Only thing is, someone took attack the Hokage and killed him. Literally, like, if Hokage made notice that someone summoned the Nine Tails is going to attack Minato while he's sealing the Nine Tails away. So everyone realized that there's an invader. So, yeah. And Danzo's BS wasn't being heard because of Fugaku shutting it all down. Which led to Fugaku versus Danzo happening, and Danzo lost horribly. What happened that was important is Danzo had his covered eye torn out of his face by Fugaku, and Fugaku destroyed it. So, yeah. So Fugaku and Danzo do fight because Danzo got upset at Fugaku's shutting down his rumors. But yeah, so this honestly was a little too late because Danzo had recently leaked the Naruto was the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. And Fugaku couldn't shut it down, but established a law with Hiruzen's help that the talk of the Nine Tails was illegal. And basically he tells them that Naruto should be regarded as a hero, as he's the only reason that the village isn't destroyed. And they all view Naruto as a hero. So, yeah. That's the backstory of this What If. This whole backstory is 17 minutes, but I'm honestly killing time because this is a movie. So, yeah. So Naruto is raised alongside basically, he kind of lives by himself. But Mikoto, Fugaku, Itachi, Shisui, Minato, Hiyashi, Hizashi, Neji, Hinata, and Hanabi, and Hinata and Hanabi's mother, are basically the most influential figures in Naruto's life. So yeah. So with this, well, they actually help Naruto be, well, better. As Naruto's eyes are very pale like Kushina's were, but Naruto's eyes are genetic. Only thing is, weirdly, he seems to basically be able to be very similar to a Byakugan. This is where Hiyashi and Hiruzen are speculating what clan Kushina is truly from, and they believe that she may be from a clan that's descending of the Uchiha, of the Hyuga. So they think that Kushina may have been a Hyuga in disguise, but didn't want to actually, well, give away her clan, or maybe give away that she's the last one of her clan. And they believe that more than anything else. So, yeah. So Naruto's accepted to be a good user of the Byakugan, but one of Naruto's eyes doesn't work for the Byakugan. They seem like that's because he's a half-breed. But I need to go over a bit more lore for Naruto's clan DNA. So, Naruto's not even really fully half Senju. He's more like 50% otsutsuki, 45% Senju, and 5% Uzumaki, or more like 3% Uzumaki. So, he's around more like that. That's the best way to say it. But more Senju than Uzumaki, so that makes it a bit better. So, yeah. So Naruto and everyone else would basically just, well, they keep training Naruto. One day, one of Naruto's eyes suddenly changed color to red, basically. You're thinking Sharingan, you're very much wrong. The Ketsuryugan is what Naruto awakened. Yeah. So he awakened the Ketsuryugan. So Ketsuryugan, basically, if you don't know what that is from the Chonoki clan. And the Chonoki clan is the clan that possibly rivaled the Uchiha. So, yeah. So, basically, let me find this real quick. So the Kitsuryugan basically is, how do I phrase this? It's a really strong eye. And it was able to manipulate, basically, any liquid full of iron. That's the best way to say it. Any liquid with iron in it, the Kitsuryugan can actually manipulate. Plus, some random one who barely had any training with Kitsuryugan besides like one other Joinki clan member was able to push a 21-year-old Sasuke or 22-year-old Sasuke, which is probably one of Sasuke's peak ages in life where he was the strongest. I'd honestly say that the 22 or 21-year-old Sasuke could probably push Boruto Sasuke. So yeah, I would make the argument for Naruto as well, but that Naruto doesn't have barrier on mode, I'd say. So I'd probably just say Sasuke can always push himself no matter what age he is in. It's the only thing that grows is just his knowledge of the otsutsuki and just his regular knowledge, not his power. The Rinnegan abilities are very self-explanatory. But yeah. But Naruto would be able to actually use the Kitsuryugan, and now the submission of Kushina's real clan is kind of confusing. So they dig into the Kaguya clan and realizing the Kaguya clan is basically extinct. Then they dig into the name of Kaguya, and they find out a bit of info, or not info, but basically legend of the Stage of Six Paths. Mainly Hiruzen and Fugaku do, and Hiyashi. Also one thing, Hiyashi is not dead. But the Hyuga and the Uchiha being very friendly with each other to the point where they're right next to each other in terms of clan compounds. The hidden Cloud Shinobi run right into the Uchiha compound to be killed by Itachi. Itachi's around 10 years old and just coming back from a mission, and from a mission with Shisui. When Shisui will just immediately kill the Shinobi. And, well, A can't prove that they were killed by the Uchiha or the Hyuga. They're literally left in the woods randomly, and it's not so that Hiyashi killed them, because Hiyashi was asleep the whole night with even people confirming it from the Uchiha and the Hyuga. But then no one can confirm it, so it doesn't matter. So A is the best of the entire war until basically Samui and a few other people say like that's not really smart because the Hyuga and the Uchiha are basically working in unison 24/7. You wouldn't want that, would you? And Hiyashi would just shake it. Not Hiyashi. I mean, A would just shake his head no. I was thinking that he cannot start a war with Konoha. There most likely might went from like a 3 to like a 7 immediately because the Uchiha and Hyuga learned how to work together because of Minato. Plus they have a baby Naruto, not baby, but like a 5-year-old Naruto who's a tank. So yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So Naruto at this point, by the time he's around 7 years old, would have more chakra than even Hagoromo did. Think about it. 3% Uzumaki. Still a lot of chakra regardless. And strong life force. He's going to use half of Otsutsuki. 47% Senju. And the full Nine-Tails Fox. What do you think this man would not be more powerful than Hagoromo would be, at least in terms of chakra pressure? Like at the lowest, I would say 10 tails level. At the lowest. Like the lowest is 10 tails. So yeah. Naruto is stacked. Plus, he even made an ability where we can basically make sickles out of basically chakra, and these sickles are pure white. They're kind of like Kinshiki's abilities. But Kinshiki's weapons are red. Naruto's are just sickles that are pure white. And basically, one sickle is basically can tear the chakra out of you. The other one can tear your soul out. Then Naruto using Kushina's Yang release ability can create hands. You can create mouths on his hands that can eat chakra and the souls. If he eats the chakra, they're added to his own reserves, and basically serve as a backup battery. Should he ever run out of chakra, shockingly. Then if he eats the soul, basically add it onto his own life force. And if he eats enough of them all at once, or if he eats a strong enough soul, he'll get an extra life. Orochimaru would kill for Naruto's abilities. But yeah. So yeah. Naruto mainly makes blades, even though, well, he can make all kinds of blades and shield, but he prefers sickles. So yeah. At the age of 10, he also unlocked wood release where he'd be trained by Yamato. And with his chakra reserves being greater than Minato's by a lot, well, he can use wood release that are surpassing Hashirama, like the point where Yamato was allowed to use his scroll healing to find out all wood release abilities of Hashirama. So Naruto and Yamato are both a lot stronger than they should be. By the time Naruto was 13, he had already surpassed Hiruzen. So, man. And Fugaku actually agreed to take the role of Hokage by now. As he was done raising Naruto, as Naruto could fend for himself. Falco is now made the 5th Hokage. The first Uchiha Hokage. So yeah. Also, with Dry having a lot more chakra reserves, this man is a mastered sage. Like, he has a lot more chakra. He has a lot more talent than he did in canon. Name one talentless Uchiha. No, I mean Senju. One talentless Senju. In Hashirama, we have Tobirama. We beat someone with Senju. We have their brothers. Literally, it takes Uchiha adults to kill one of the kids. Honestly, you can chalk that up to Uchiha as being brutal, but I also do like to give the kids credit, as Madara, Hashirama, and Tobirama did have really good reputations as kids. So I would say it at least took 2 adults to kill, 2 Uchiha adults to kill the brothers of Hashirama and Tobirama. That's how strong I view them to be. Well, Jiraiya is just really strong, and a lot more talent, making him a mastered sage. Of Toad Sage one, that is. And Naruto had also unlocked Slug Sage mode, but this only took him a long time to learn, but not yet. As age of 10, he graduated the academy, and we graduated the academy while he became a Genin, and has been Genin for roughly around 3 years. With the 3 years, he's actually on Team Yamato. Team Yamato consists of Naruto, Yamato, and Kakashi. And Naruto at this point, this was the end of the 3 years. Naruto has 9 mortality. He's eaten a lot of souls. But only if bastards like Kakashi has to admit they're bad people. Naruto actually asks, do they deserve their soul? Kakashi does actually ask Naruto if he eats the soul so they get their personality. He says, no, he gets their life force. So Naruto basically has 9 immortality. As killing him would be really hard. And if he does die, it'd be more like an Izanagi effect. He immediately just reappear somewhere else. Yeah, so... But I move on to just Naruto and, Kakashi now getting Team 7. Team 7 is basically just, Team 7 will be Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, but they're under the tutelage of, Yamato. Yamato this time. Or actually, I have a better way of spinning it. Naruto's on Team Yamato, which would consist of Naruto, Sai, and Yamato. Kakashi would get Sakura and Sasuke, telling them that they're infused with another team. That are basically 2 Anbu kids. And Sasuke and Sakura get up strong enough, the teams will fuse. But one of the members will be given the rank of tuning without taking the tuning exams. So this is how it'll narrow it down to 3. And during this time, we should go on to Naruto, Team Yamato, and then Team Kakashi uniting after a month and a half. Naruto and Sasuke already know each other, as Naruto hangs out at Sasuke's house quite frequently. And when Naruto met Sasuke, he introduced Sasuke to Neji. Neji didn't know Sasuke, but Sasuke knew Hinata, Hanabi, Hiyashi, Hizashi, all them. But Neji is usually off training with Team Guy. So yeah. So we move on to Team 7, and they're called Team 7. And they move on to Land Wave's mission, where it's actually pronounced as a B rank, as Naruto did but basically just called out Tazuna's lie. He can sense emotions that well. But Tazuna doesn't admit this is a high rank mission, but Kyujin isn't worried, saying this is the strongest team they have currently. Pointing out that Naruto and Yamato are descendants of the first Hokage. Kakashi is descendant of one of the strongest shinobi to ever exist, same as Sasuke. Sakura is one of the most talented shinobi of a generation, and Sai has been trained to be an assassin for years. When Tazuna heard all this, he's thanked Kyujin immediately. So they go on the mission. Naruto kind of wears something like this. And on his back is just basically a giant sword made of chakra. But take away the horns and the Rinnegan. And make him shorter. But yeah. On the mission, basically, they didn't really do attack, as Naruto, Sasuke, and Sai, and Sakura immediately called out Genjutsu. But Naruto just spun around before she using the sickles to tear out one demon's entire reserve of chakra, and ate it. He didn't kill him, but still. Demon passed out from exhaustion. The other one, Sai and Sasuke just both do like Sasuke just said, I'll go low. So I said, then I go high. He jumped and kneed Demon in the face, and Sasuke kicked him right in the knees full force, breaking his legs, and Sai just knocked him out. Then Naruto woke them both up through really strong Genjutsu, and they both read it on Zabuza. So as they get to the area where the mist started to roll in, Naruto immediately held his hand out since this fog was full of chakra, and was actually able to eat some of it, saying that this should all be able to be blown away with ninjutsu. Kakashi and Yamato both inhaled as they both yelled Yoden style, great breakthrough, and the whole fog is blown away. Then a sword is sent flying right at them. But Naruto appeared in front of them both, as Chakra sword basically cut the blade in half. With that, Sakura and Sasuke both grab the hilt and throw it right back at Zabuza. Zabuza barely dodged it before Naruto and Saya both appear next to him, Saya on a bird, and Naruto just on his bare feet. That Saya gets a giant cut across, gets a giant cut across the side from Naruto. And Zabuza's wondering where Haku is, only to realize that Yamato already caught Haku using Earth Release. So yeah. So Zabuza has a giant cut across the side. Then he's minded up with the giant thing of wood, and he held there as chakra is drained from him. And with this, we'll just move on to Zabuza and Haku being held captive in the Land of Waves. So Gato and his men arrive. The time Naruto and Sai are training, and Sasuke and Sakura do acknowledge how hardcore Naruto and Sai train. Naruto's jumping high in the air, and then basically throwing kunai to basically counter all of the attacks that Sai's throwing at them. Not at them, at him. And Sai is also having to draw a lot faster, and be more precise while drawing as fast as he can. But also costing a lot more chakra. But eventually, wait, pause. Okay, this is my note, but I just wanted to fact check this. So with the time that Naruto set in, and what kind of ink Sai probably uses, Sai's ink is mainly iron based. And Naruto has a Ketsuyu gun which controls iron-enriched liquids. Naruto destroys Sai's everything with just a simple motion of a Ketsuyu gun. Or he can just control the ink and turn it on Sai. That's what I imagine Naruto doing. So yeah. So once Sai sent basically all the birds and things at Naruto immediately uses Ketsuyu gun to slam it right inside his body, knocking him out. Sasuke caught Sai, realizing that Naruto already planned on it, as a giant pillar of earth was about to basically catch Sai like a hand. But Naruto thinks Sasuke first. Eventually asked Sakura if she can use any ninjutsu, and then asked Sasuke the same question. Sasuke shot off one point Sharingan in both eyes. And Sakura said she can just control chakra really well and use basic genjutsu. So for the next week and a half, Naruto trained them both and have Sasuke copy at least his lightning style, as Naruto can use all 5 natures. Then Sakura was taught water release. So yeah, Sasuke will learn lightning ball jutsu, and what jutsu I had Sasuke in mind to learn: lightning ball jutsu and lightning bullet. So yeah. And Sakura for water style will basically learn water wall, water clone, and water prison. But Sakura can't use any of those jutsu more than once, as her reserves aren't that big yet. Sai basically trained her to expand her chakra reserves. But also teaches her the most vital points of the body, telling Sakura that with her vast knowledge and her great potential, she should be able to probably be the best Anbu shinobi ever without being in the Anbu. So Sakura nod and being taught by Sai. Even Yamato joined in to help Sakura. While Kakashi and Naruto to train Sasuke. But eventually when Gato's men arrive, Zabuza and Haku were sentenced to hard labor by Naruto's Ketsuyu gun and basic genjutsu skill, and they have no knowledge that they're under genjutsu. Naruto just said, do work as punishment, and they nodded. So Zabuza and Haku finish building the bridge as Gato's men arrive. But as soon as they arrive, Zabuza held a pickaxe telling them to go away. Haku ended up holding up a hammer, telling them back off as well. These two combined, and at full power currently, they both basically dash around, killing all of Gato's men easily with the pickaxe and a hammer. But eventually Zabuza spun around, slamming his pickaxe right into Gato's neck, and then tore it upwards, and Gato's head kind of torn in half. Or slashed in half. So yeah. Now with this, well, eventually the Hidden Leaf team leaves the Hidden Village. They leave the Land of Waves, and once they leave the Land of Waves, well, they arrive at Konoha, and when they arrive, Naruto was given a tuning vest. As Naruto was given a bit of credit from like basically Sasuke, Sakura, Sai, Yamato, and Kakashi. So once Naruto got a tuning vest, he basically said he didn't need it, but he'll keep it. So yeah. Then Naruto refused to train Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai for like the next month and a half, not within a week, for the next like 2.5 weeks. And well, Zabuza and Haruki even run in, and Sasuke is how do you sword by Zabuza? Haku ends up teaching Sakura and Sai a few techniques, and Naruto ends up teaching all of them just how more nature releases. But then Sasuke can use already 3 natures. He can use lightning, fire, and wind. He's not playing no wind. Probably water release from Naruto's teaching Sakura. I can imagine Sai picked up fire release if that's his nature. Actually, Sai's given natures are actually pretty versatile for Naruto. Sasuke's given natures are fire and lightning. Sakura's given natures, I believe, are earth and water. So Naruto can teach Sasuke and probably not Sasuke, but he can teach Sakura and Sai wind. We can teach Sakura and Sai both earth and water, but Sai also ends up learning fire style with Sasuke. Let's turn the example around. Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai are both all roughly around mid Chunin to low Jonin. So this is how strong they are. So we just move on to Team 7 minus Naruto. Naruto's on honestly just proctor for the exams. So yeah, so eventually by the time the exams are over, first part of the exam, that is. Well, first when Sasuke was attacked by Rock Lee asked about Naruto, and Sasuke says he just wanted to train before the exams began. And this kind of made Rock Lee a bit annoyed, saying, "He was that skilled, huh?" That's when Sasuke yelled, "Yeah, he took down S-rank Shinobi by himself, or controlled him by himself. What do you think?" Which shocked Rock Lee by saying that if Naruto can do that with sheer raw talent, but also being noted as training the most out of anyone in the academy, he thinks that Naruto could beat his whole team. So then she's laughing, "So, he's tuning that early on, huh?" He doesn't use Rock Lee until Rock Lee just is realized, I don't realize, but Neji basically says that Naruto is basically his cousin at this point. And Rock Lee then yells, "Neji, let me and him fight after the exams." And John did saying he'll see if Naruto deems Rock Lee worthy, as he doesn't even deem the leader of the Hyuga clan worthy to fight. His abilities are too straightforward, quote unquote. Even Neji isn't allowed to fight him. So yeah, if your abilities are straightforward to Naruto, he'll read them too easily and probably kill you in seconds. So yeah, but Rock Lee and Sasuke fight. And it proves to be a pretty decent fight with with Sasuke's taijutsu skills being improved vastly by his family. But Rock Lee still beats him. But barely. Rock Lee's fight with his face in with a few bruises. But for the written test, Sasuke did actually pretty decent. Mikuto was very fast on Sasuke studying, because Naruto seemed to be a genius beyond belief, and younger than Sasuke. So Mikuto had Naruto tutor Sasuke. So yeah. So Sakura's just a genius by nature. So was Sai, and Sasuke was tutored by the smartest one of Okon on 12. So they all pass. And Itachi was even kind of to tutor Sasuke with Naruto. So Sasuke beats Itachi's record, but can't beat Minato's. But he also is a genius cheater, as he plays Sai and Sakura under Genjutsu, and they both did the test pretty decently. So yeah. So yeah. So Naruto's kind of just like watching them cheat. And he doesn't know it's obvious, but still Sasuke would have only been in trouble once or twice. And the limit's 5. So yeah. So Sasuke wasn't called out wasn't called out or kicked out. Well, Tenten, he was just amazed that she wasn't called out. Like, he immediately jumped up and just poked out like strings of the mirror with just one senbone, telling her, "That's 1." And she immediately just sighed. Team Guide didn't fail, but it was really hard. Really hard. So yeah. Now we go on to the Force of Death. In the Force of Death, well, honestly, Team 7 destroys everyone they come across. When it came to Sai vs. Orochimaru, Sai wrote things and drew things out so fast that Orochimaru could barely dodge, to the point where his arm is bitten off by a giant tiger. But then Sai can use 3 natures, so can Sasuke. Sakura can use 2. We're just being overwhelmed by these 3 kids. But by the time But then, like, Orochimaru is able to retreat. His body is scorched, covered in with small rock spikes, and he's soaking wet. So, yeah. But Naruto had eventually sensed that Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai were all combining their attacks for one person. He told Anko this, and Anko has heard how strong Team 7 is. So Naruto immediately grabbed Anko and appeared in front of Team 7, as Orochimaru was flex his bloodlust. But Naruto's body was suddenly engulfed in a six-tailed cloak, and Naruto glared at Orochimaru. If you guys are wondering why Naruto has this, Naruto is an otsutsuki, and Kurama recognized an otsutsuki. Plus, Kushina was a nice person to him. Kushina knew about Hagoromo from studying, and well, actually she told Kurama she wouldn't do anything to hurt him. Kushina even said that if he wants out, she'll let Kurama out, but she will fight him if he tries to attack Konoha. And he admits he would because he doesn't like Konoha, because they kind of kept him locked inside one woman for like 160 years. But yeah, and Naruto is even better than his mother, kind of resembling Hagoromo. So yeah. So Kurama allows Naruto to access around 7-tailed chakra. And also with just durability that doesn't burn off his skin, but yeah. Wait, pause. So Naruto and Team 7 basically just well, not Anko really, fight Orochimaru, and Naruto is completely abusing Orochimaru effortlessly. It was to the point where wants Naruto's Kitsuryugan and Byakugan more than anything else. Eventually with Naruto's Byakugan, he slammed his gentle fist right into Orochimaru's chest, caving it in, sending him flying back. When Naruto sent flying back, Naruto eventually also used Kitsuryugan, as he had used Orochimaru's bitten off arm to basically just control all his blood and use blood to create like spiky tendrils. These tendrils end up stabbing Orochimaru's side, and then places under strong genjutsu, and passed out. But Naruto ends up basically summoning a slug, and this tells them to keep Orochimaru returning the slug realm until it's safe to come out. And, well, Katsuyu would nod. So Naruto can summon 100% of Lady Katsuyu effortlessly. It's pretty easy. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I guess we can just move on to wait, pause. So yeah, so Orochimaru's kept in the slug realm, and Lady Katsuyu just has herself swim in like large bodies, and Orochimaru doesn't get up. They're to melt him. So yeah, but he's like when Naruto's chakra reserves, Orochimaru isn't getting up anytime soon as long as Naruto doesn't let him. So yeah. Because just genjutsu reasons, but yeah. So now we move on to basically just Naruto and Anko leaving, but Naruto winks and says he wishes Team 7 luck. But we move on to Kabuto, who had saw the whole thing go down, and Team 7 had left with them all being retired. He thought he could take them on, only to fight Sai. And Sai, with how fast he draws and how much his reserves have grown, well, honestly, Sai just makes a giant snake fight at Kabuto. Then Kabuto was able to easily avoid it, only to be met by a fireball from Sasuke and burn Kabuto's face pretty badly. But that Kabuto was also stabbed in the side by Sakura. And as Kabuto comes questioning where Sakura came from, as he sees Kin from Team Dosu with Dozen Kunai right in her side. So yeah, Kin is taken down by Sakura. Then when Dosu and Zaku appear, Sasuke immediately turned around and just yelled Lightning Ball Jutsu. This round ball of lightning and sent flying right into Dosu's chest and basically killed him immediately. And Sai just pulled out his like Tonto and threw it right in Zaku's throat and just let it hit him. So Team Dosu was killed. Kabuto on the ground, and Yoroi and Tsurugi could not keep up with Sasuke's size and Sakura's speed. So yeah. But Naruto had told Hiruzen that he captured Orochimaru, and then Jiraiya told about this. So eventually the first round would end. We go into preliminaries, where it doesn't really matter about Naruto's position in it, because Naruto wasn't there. Sai would place Naruto for Kiba versus Naruto. And Sai immediately goes grab people by the neck, calling him a mutt, saying that he's not letting himself be beaten by some mutt. He would try to get out of Sai's grip, but Sai's physical strength was overwhelming Kiba. Even Sai's bloodlust was scaring Akamaru. Akamaru peed on Kiba. But eventually, when Kiba says he submits, well, Kiba just realized that Sai was just messing with him. He wasn't planning on killing them at all. And, well, not everyone knew this, but a few people could tell. Yeah. So Naruto, Sai let go of Kiba's throat, and Kiba apologizing for that. So yeah. But now we move on past this to Sasuke's fight versus Yoroi. Sasuke also threw kunai into Yoroi's head, telling him that he's an enemy, and he will let him pass. And when Sasuke effortlessly killed Yoroi, and heartlessly too. Then we came to Tsurugi versus Kankuro. Kankuro does them the same way in canon. And then we move on to just Sakura versus Ino. Sakura just smirked as Sakura really thinks she can win. Sakura says that she can use 2 chakra natures. Ino doesn't stand a chance. She immediately dodged Ino's first attempt at mind transfer jutsu, and she used a giant stream of water to push Ino against the wall. By the time the gust of water is gone, the stream of water is gone, Sakura appeared right in front of Ino and uppercutted her in the chin so hard that she broke Ino's chin and knocked her out. Sakura had bowed, and then they go to one with the training. Sai is brought specifically to Hiruzen. You guys wondering why? I would have Sai turn on Danzo, but Danzo I think would just fuck up Sai. Even Yamato even asked Hiruzen personally to train Sai. And honestly, Hiruzen is getting pretty bored. So he offered to train Sai alongside Konohamaru. Konohamaru will be getting really hard training, sure. But still, Sai was not getting too much of an edge over his class, over like other people, just because he doesn't want him to have too much of an edge. So yeah. But yeah. Sakura is trained by Kakashi. She's not probably not Kakashi. Well, actually, I have a good idea. So Sasuke would have his mom train Sakura. Sasuke's mom Miso Uzumaki. Not Miso Uzumaki. Mikoto Uchiha. The Mikoto and Mito kind of confuse me at times. Mikoto agreed to train Sakura, as Sasuke did say that she had a great deal of potential in Genjutsu and ninjutsu. She can already use 2 chakra natures like him. And Sasuke can use 3 like Sai. So Mikoto's pretty impressed with Sakura and they'll train her for the whole 1 month. Sai is trained by Hiruzen, not on a big level, but still low level. But Sai is actually able to unlock all 5 chakra natures thanks to Hiruzen's training. And does develop a pretty decently brotherly bond with Konohamaru. And after this, Sai even asked if he would be adopted by Hiruzen. He started being parentless. And well, Hiruzen just smiled, asking about Yamato. I started to think hard about this. Then also think about Kakashi, and then actually asked Hiruzen, saying sure. So yeah. So yeah. So he does he's more hesitant to ask Hiruzen, but still actually does want to ask Yamato or Kakashi. And this time, Naruto and Jiraiya do actually meet for the first time. Jiraiya introduced himself as Naruto's grandfather. And it's not uncommon knowledge that the son of Tsusanin is Minato. So yeah, well at least the son of Jiraiya is Minato. So Naruto really knew who his father was from this point on. But Naruto wants to have it under wraps. So yeah. But with this, well, Naruto would just train with Jiraiya for the whole 1 month, but first give Orochimaru to Jiraiya. And Jiraiya is shocked that Naruto can already summon Lady Katsuyu. So yeah. But Jiraiya also taught Naruto how to summon toads, and that was pretty easy for him. He did it first try. But yeah. Good. So yeah. I'm pretty sure we can move on past this now. I would say probably just the tuning exams. First fight is Sai versus Neji, and well, Neji acknowledges Sai as like a student of Naruto as well. Not even a student. He's not a student of Naruto himself, but he acknowledges Sai as someone like family. Tells Sai that he'll go all out, and in exchange Sai should do the same. Sai to say that if he goes all out, he may kill Neji in seconds. Neji smirks, saying, "Try me." Only to be bombarded by every single nature Sai knows. When the fight's over, Neji's arms are completely scorched. They're also kind of cold. Like, Neji's arms have no skin on them at this point. His arms still from him using rotation so much. But then Sai appeared in front of Neji, hitting him in the chest just one time, very swiftly. And then Neji's coughing so hard that he's heaving, fell to the ground, and just not able to breathe. So yeah. Then move on to Sakura. I would say Sakura versus. I can say confidently Sakura versus Shino. Because of the unevenness, it was going to be Sakura, Kankuro, and Chino. But it's really just Sakura and Chino now. Sakura learned lightning release from Mito. No, not Mito, from Mikoto. She learned lightning release. She learned. No, I would say she learned fire release and lightning release. So, fire, water, and earth. She learned that from Mikoto. And then she also ended up basically learning how to enhance her strength with chakra, as Mikoto gave her a bit more edges on chakra. And then Sakura had to use kunai, senbon, and tontos, as even Haku joined in for the senbon part. And Sakura also began developing her own ability she called frost release. It's mainly a mixture of so far it's really just really strong water release, or kind of molding just water release, but making it a lot colder, which does give her somewhat of an awakening to wind release. But she can't really use wind release at all right now. Now with this, we go on to Team 7, and, well, first off, we're going on Crush. Or, Sasuke versus Gaara. Sasuke abused them easily. It was literally just Itachi and Kakashi training Sasuke for the whole 1 month. Yeah, Sasuke abused him. Then Konoha Crush began, and as soon as Gaara tried to escape, Sasuke appeared right above Gaara and kicked him so hard in the face that he passed out. It did release Shukaku, only to get a gigantic Rasengan right to the face from Naruto. And when Shukaku emerged, Naruto just appeared making a giant Rasengan on Shukaku's body and destroyed it into Shukaku itself and woke up Gaara. So that's how strong Naruto was for that second. And then when it came to the whole Genjutsu, Sakura walked into the stands yelling release, and the whole Genjutsu was broken. And then, well, everyone's just destroyed. Like, everyone in sand and hidden sound is destroyed. So, it mainly caused Konoha Crush to grab Orochimaru back, but it didn't work. But let's go for the hidden sound, not hidden sand. So, I would say we can move on past this now. Konoha Crush failing pretty miserably. And we go on to the search for Tsunade. Honestly, just Naruto actually just asked to go find Tsunade because he wanted to meet his grandmother. And Jiraiya agreed to that. Saying he hasn't seen Tsunade in a while as well. So Naruto and Tsunade go find... Naruto and Jiraiya go find Tsunade. And halfway on the ship, Naruto encountered, well, Kabuto, who had joined the Akatsuki. Kabuto is going to replace Itachi. I was wondering why I'd say Kabuto's going to replace Itachi. Kabuto started his whole I'm going to inject cells in my body already. So he started Orochimaru cells. Basically everyone with Sound Force cells, or anyone important besides Karin cells, because he doesn't know that his body can't handle a lot of her abilities. Or at least his chakra reserves can't handle her abilities. So Karin can kind of find it pointless until he was strong enough to handle it. So yeah. This is when Kabuto's going to kind of partially transform his eye and a bit of his neck. But Kabuto would fight against Naruto, only to lose horribly, and same as Kisame. Naruto would just spun around before tearing out most of Kabuto's chakra and eating it. Then he did the same thing to Kisame. Kisame ate it. Kisame's questioning what kind of ability that is. But Naruto says it's an ability that makes me stronger than anyone else. And, by eating a lot of the chakra that Kabuto had, kind of gain the abilities of the Sound 4, Kimimaru, Jugo, Suigetsu. You name anyone notable from the Hidden Sound that Kabuto had the DNA of. Naruto has a lot of their chakra and their abilities now. So yeah, just because Naruto isn't keen on killing, he didn't take out all their chakra, but enough to leave him alive. We picked up Samehada, and Samehada would actually not prick Naruto's hands. Naruto's main ability with chakra is creating blades. And he's a swordsman, a really good one at that. Trained by Zabuza himself. And just some Uchiha police and Anbu. So, yeah. Pause. So somehow to find a better host than Naruto. But Naruto told Jiraiya that they should leave really quickly. This Jiraiya didn't necessarily kill Kisame or Kabuto, but Naruto says that's not really in his morality to kill. And plus, he doesn't think the Hidden Leaf could take them right now. And Jiraiya nodded. And this honestly would be a very fatal mistake. Because it starts to put somehow to down and pick up his stuff, somehow to swallow Kisame. And Kabuto just ran away. And Naruto and Naruto thought that they both ran away, not listening to somehow to swallowed Kisame. So yeah. So with this, Naruto and Jiraiya leave, at least from Tsunade. Tsunade actually asks Jiraiya who the brat is. Naruto smiled at her, and then she saw Minato, and I'm saying, "Don't tell me he's Naruto." She tried not to tear up. But she was just about Naruto, and basically saying that she can call Naruto can call her basically his aunt. Smiled at her, bowing, and Naruto was going to be talking, Tsunade trying so hard not to cry, but failing each second. But she says that's about Samehada, and he says, "Oh, this is a sword that I stole." And I says, "Dry, you let him steal." Dry says, "At first they attacked him. This is his trophy, and also the price they paid for him letting them live, even though they tried to kill him." And good job, Naruto. And she just smiled at her. Now with that, in the hotel room at night, Naruto is sleeping. And, well, Naruto's chakra reserves, and feeding somehow to constant reserve of chakra, Kisame is healed a lot, to the point where he's even stronger than he was when he came out. Kisame is about as strong as he is, I would say, in probably towards the fight he had with Killer B, around there. He went to Killer B and A to beat Kisame, and that was a Zetsu. So, actually, no, I'd say the Kisame that fought Seven Gates guy. He's stronger than that, actually. But yeah. While sleeping, Kisame would emerge. And Naruto is actually very, very much asleep. But he's still a really good Senju ninja, either way, by default. He's able to sense Kisame getting up. But he's still suddenly Kunai's plunged right into Jiraiya's gut. Jiraiya didn't care, so he actually wrapping his leg right around Zabuza, Kisame, telling Naruto to kill him. Naruto immediately appeared behind him with sickles drawn, and flash forward. And, well, Kisame's head just kind of falls right off. And Naruto basically had used one sickle to tear out all of Kisame's soul and life force, and chakra at the same time, actually. It takes a bit of energy to do that, a lot of energy, actually. But in exchange, well, depending on who the person was, he does get chakra back. And then the other sickle would cut off Kisame's head at the same time. So, yeah, the Kisame's dead. Naruto began belittling Samehada. Well, at the same time, he began killing Jiraiya. Noticing that Jiraiya had self-regeneration. And Jiraiya, on the way back, taught Naruto this ability. But eventually we go into the Sasuke True Arc, which actually wouldn't happen. So, yeah, there's no need for it to happen. Sasuke cannot get better teachers than in the Hidden Leaf. Plus, Naruto has been seen with the guy who's the fourth Hokage, his father. And everyone assumes that's Naruto's master. So, yeah. Also, but Itachi is actually fully healthy at this point. He's going to the hospital to actually help him a lot, so he's healed. But yeah. But we should move on to Team 7, and we'll, fast forwarding through the time skip, to the Kazekage Chulo mission. Which is roughly around 2.5 years at this point. Or, yeah, 2.5 years. Naruto basically went to Hinsane to teach Gaara how to become perfect in Cherokee. And it helped, and Jiraiya can win with Naruto to actually perfect Gaara's heel at the same time. And Naruto honestly just went on a little swing with Jiraiya. Kind of becoming the next Jiraiya in a sense. The whole time skip is up, Naruto even grew horns. And so, well, he's covered more about Kaguya's, Jiraiya, even about Naruto on the track that he had. So yeah. Just because a lot of Kaguya's discoveries, and even to the land Ashura and Indra went to, and well, from basically from the fertile land that was made fertile by Indra's genjutsu. And Naruto even found the into the god tree that was there, and absorbed all the chakra in the god tree, which is why the main reason he grew horns. So yeah. But also, his Byakugan turned into Rinnegan, which he realized he can turn on and off. So yeah. So, Katsugan and a Rinnegan, and a Byakugan. He's pretty overpowered at this point. And Naruto officially looks just like this. So, yeah. And he even goes by Naruto Otsutsuki at this point. Basically, every remnant of Hagoromo, Hamura, Indra, Ashura that was on Earth, he was all about it. And went around the world finding every bit of the God Tree saplings and absorbing all the chakra from the God Tree. At least the branches and shit that was left. There wasn't much of it, there's still some left. Even Zetsu's that he found, he absorbed those too. Well, absorbed the chakra, really. He didn't need the life force that can be taken out in one blow from anyone. But in those times, Tsunade just to give her grandson, his wish was basically to train Sakura. And Mikoto and Tsunade both train Sakura. Sasuke is trained by Kakashi and Itachi and Shisui. Fugaku doesn't really train him too much because Fugaku has Hokage duties. But instead spends time giving Sasuke a life lesson instead. Some stuff that Fugaku had learned from Minato, and to being Hokage in general. And Sasuke did appreciate those more than actual lessons. And Danzo was also actually killed by Fugaku at some point. Because Fugaku realized that he started breaking the compound actually kill Itachi in his sleep. Not kill Itachi, kill Sasuke in his sleep. I think Sasuke is a big threat. And honestly, he was also one of his eyes at the age of like 13, he had a 50-point Sharingan. But Fugaku caught him and just cut his head clean off before he even knew what was happening. There wasn't even enough time for him to activate Izanagi. He just died. Plus, he didn't hear a thing as Danzo's trespassing in the compound were told to basically the council, and they all agreed that Danzo was a piece of shit besides the elders. But he usually basically told the elders that they don't have a choice in this. They're gonna either agree that Danzo was trash or they're gonna die. Even Hugo backed up saying they're willing to wage war on the elders. Fugaku said the same about the Uchiha, and Hyusen said the same thing about his student Sai. Well, him and Yamato's student Sai. So yeah. Now this Kazakari Drew mission, which doesn't happen because, well, Gaara is a perfect in Cherokee beyond belief and easily beat Sasori and Deidara. Point where they retreat. Leading on to the next mission, Kenichi Bridge. But honestly, because Naruto gathered info from traveling around the world and kind of had a lot more kind of like, we mentioned dry connections, but like times 3. This is Naruto's connections. He has connections with all the Cherokees, connections with a few bandit camps, everything. So Naruto's actually able to somewhat get info about Kenichi Bridge and spy on it from distance with Sai. And at this point, Sai is also dating Ino. Oh yeah, pause. So Sai's dating Ino at this point, and yeah, that's where I left off. Besides dating Ino, Sakura and Sasuke are dating already. Neji and Tenten are dating. And Neji's a bit more of a nice person, a bit more calm and rational, just because of Hisashi being alive. So, yeah. But Kenichi Bridge. Naruto and Sai are spying on it. And, well, eventually, he sees Kabuto and Kabuto and Sound 4 meeting with Sasori. The point is honestly just discuss until they gathered with each other. But Naruto had honestly was able to listen in on this easily. Before he got tired of Sasori talking, Sasori like right through the puppet, and a giant pillar of wood is shot straight through Sasori's heart, killing him immediately. The guys spent around fighting Kabuto. One of the Kabutos was really easily keeping pace with Naruto's raw physical strength, which is impressive because it outmatches Tsunade without him even using chakra. But eventually put out his sword as it turned into a scythe, and he pointed it at Kabuto. Kabuto reveals his whole body, being more snake-like. Like imagine War Art Kabuto who fought Itachi and Sasuke at once, with Sasuke having an MS and Edo Itachi, but then make that like times 4. His body can handle Karin's abilities now. Only thing he doesn't have is Uzumaki chains. So Naruto and Kabuto do fight, but Kabuto does put up a good fight. But Sai eventually took advantage of Naruto grabbing Kabuto and wrapping him up and like just turning his chakra sword and just like a rope and binding him for a bit. Then Sai spun around and went slash off Kabuto's head. Kabuto thought he could just avoid it or be able to tank it. Till Sai kind of put out like a sneaky sword that not a sword, but like something sneaky made ink him through it at Kabuto's head. Went right into Kabuto's brain, and Naruto just activates Katsuyogon. Suddenly, like the upper half of Kabuto's body is just blows apart. And the force that upper body blew apart with, it blew apart the lower half too. Suddenly, they all hear Deidara yells, he flies down, dropping bombs, trying to at least. And Sai rode so fast that all Deidara's attacks were neutralized in a split second. And then Sai jumped in the air, hitting a bird, as him and Deidara being fighting. But it's honestly just a one-sided slaughter. Sai is demolishing them easily. And Sai can use all five chakra natures at a mastered level. Sai can compete with Hiruzen at this point. Sai can compete with Hiruzen. Sai can compete with Hiruzen. Naruto can compete with literally everyone in existence of Naruto, even Ishiki. It's not Ishiki, but I say Jigen. Jigen, not Ishiki. So yeah. So, even like Sound 4 taken out by like size, like small spiders that he made, and those small snakes wrap around Sound 4 and blow up with each nature they have, which kills the Sound 4. So yeah. With that, Naruto ends up basically going to like the hideout that's nearby. He sends them coming from it, and got all the mission they needed as they raid each hideout and free everyone. But Suetsu kind of saw Naruto as a bit suspicious because he had seven swordsman blades. He has Kubikiri Bocho and Samehara. He has them both as like summoning swords. Zabuza and him swap out between both. Good. Zabuza and Naruto both have like katanas just in case the other summons their sword by accident. So yeah. But yeah. So he gets to just question Naruto why he has this, and then says, "Oh, I killed Kisame," which Chuck forgets to, and he asks about Kubikiri Bocho, and Naruto says, "Oh, Zabuza is my sword teacher." Well, he wasn't my teacher, but I mean it kind of was, but it's not but not at the same time. So. But Naruto actually has Suigetsu why he cared, and Suigetsu talks about how his brother was as some ninja swordsman. Naruto had the idea of telling Suigetsu that once he gets Konoha, he can train with Zabuza. Because Naruto's already the best swordsman on the face of the earth. He can already surpass Zabuza and Kisame. Yeah, he lets Suigetsu hold somehow to stab him right in the hand. So yeah. But yeah. So, pause real quick. So, yeah. But he gets everyone out of the base and eventually brings them all to Konoha. And by the time they're all in Konoha, well, all the Jugos, not Jugos. I guess everyone with the curse mark that wasn't perfect. Well, one, not to be experimenting on them alongside people in Konoha, was actually able to take away all their curse marks. But he absorbed a lot of them too, by actually taking out their chakra. But then actually told Hiruzen that he has the power of a curse mark now and can actually use it. So he says that he'll learn how to use it, and eventually he'll give power of the curse mark to other people of Konoha, making them the strongest and smartest militant force. Also, guys are curious about Orochimaru. He's kept in a wood prison in the slug forest. He's kept there at all times. Jiraiya would visit him, so Tsunade, and they kind of have meals with him. So yeah. Like, Orochimaru even turned good again, and was told by Jiraiya that Naruto discovered immortality. Not honestly took out a lot of souls, then ate them, and is basically immortal at this point. Like, if you were to kill him, he would just revive, or if you were to stab him, the wound would heal instantaneously. So yeah. But Naruto would just basically keep going as we go into the whole we go into the Katsuki special mission where it comes down to Asuma's death mission, or the mission where Asuma should die. But basically with side training with Hiruzen 24/7 and Konohamaru as well, I assume that even Asuma would join in sometimes. So Asuma is actually easily able to beat Hidan. I said Kidon. He's easily able to beat Hidan, and even defend Konohamaru from Kakuzu at the same time. So with this, well, we can just move on to probably just. I guess Asuma does get like burned, but that's about it. He doesn't get stabbed, but he does use Earth Release to hold Hidan in place, and then tells Shikamaru to leave the fight alone and just get Hidan out of the circle. The circle pentagram, and Shikamaru nodded as he would just use Shadow Release and throw Hidan through the air. Asuma also didn't mind. As soon as he got on the ground, away from the pentagram, honestly, Asuma just appeared and then kind of just cut his head into 3 pieces, and then just pinned his body down using Earth Release. With that, he would use another Urshutsu to bury Hidan's body completely. Then it came to him versus Kakuzu, and he killed Kakuzu. Or he stabbed like 4 out of 5 hearts, and then Kakuzu just retreated. So yeah. With that, they head back to Konoha, and yeah. Let me move past this on to, I would say, probably just the 5 Kage Summit, because major things that I would say, well, I'd say for the, like, A calls for 5 Kage Summit, 5A, and like Onoki and May call 5 Kage Summit with like basically the hidden sand and the hidden leaf, because well, the hidden leaf is in possession of 2 blades of the hidden mist. They want those back. A is questioning the Konoha's militant force because of just really mainly Naruto, and then every single subject of Orochimaru. And then also mainly the hidden stone, because they want to meet Minato's son. It's Naruto to out himself as Minato's son to the whole Shinobi world. But yeah, so May does ask for those blades back. Zabuza says that he's staying firm to the hidden leaf and will keep his blade until she lets him decide who's worthy of it. And Naruto says he does plan to give Samehada back, but well, he's gonna give it to Suigetsu, so he's gonna move to the hidden mist. And May understood that because Naruto was lying according to Ao, so yeah, and he's not lying. He will give it back to the hidden mist. And this is okay. It's okay with leaving Kuigiri Bocho behind as long as he pays them. But not a better idea. He can put his hand in the ground as hard as he can, and put out a giant stone blade before he had poofed into iron, and put that on the desk, telling May, this is as strong as Kubikiri Bocho, but it's more durable. But there's no thing that if it breaks, it'll regrow with blood. And May makes that as equal value weapon. So yeah. So May taking Kubikiri Bocho, not Kubikiri Bocho, but taking this blade. And she thinks Naruto, saying that this will be renamed Kubikiri Bocho. Zabuza should rename his sword. And Zabuza says he'll just call it guillotine or something. So because maybe the end of the circle part, and then you can pull down and cut off someone's head with it. So yeah, so guillotine is the new name of the original Kubikiri Bocho. And A is questioning about Christian militant forces. Naruto says, well, most of them are honestly in prison, and they're studying their abilities until they regain insanity, also giving them medical treatment. But no, not to say there's any of them confirm that they're from like one of some other nations. They'll be brought back to their nation, which A is shocked by, asking why they're so honest about this. And that's Naruto nods, saying, well, honestly, you don't need any more force. I'm all they need. Which gets confused A, saying, really? Are you messaging in Cherokee? Naruto nods, saying, yeah, I have full control over the Nine-Tailed Fox. Which immediately shocks A. As Killer B says, yeah, he came to our village and told me. Like you didn't realize he was there? A says, I thought he was bluffing. As he just scoffs. And with this, we'll move on past that, on to, I would say, I can say just what, honestly, just what Onoki wants. Onoki actually wants compensation for all the children who should be killed and accompanying villages killed by Minato. But Naruto just told Onoki shut up, and he shouldn't ask for really get rid of a request like that. Onoki demanded to have Naruto basically show a bit more respect, because he doesn't respect anyone who's an enemy of Konoha or not an ally. Saying the only people he respects here are Killer B, May, and Gaara, and Kankuro and Tamari. And he says, A isn't too bad either, I guess. But immediately what was it? I guess the guards of Onoki start yelling at Naruto. Before he appears behind them, holding out the senbone. The sickles, telling them that he can carve out their chakra and their souls with these blades. He says that he's immortal. That's why he doesn't care about Konoha. He'll be alive as long as he needs to be. So yeah. So this kind of shock A, but yeah. But to the 5 Kage Summit is ended, and as they walk out, well, they are met by the remaining members of the Akatsuki. Kakuzu really, really just like Kakuzu, Obito, Nagato. We know Jiraiya the Gallant happened. And I'd say how strong Jiraiya is. He can beat Pain, but I can see Obito arriving and killing him. So Jiraiya's dead, but well, not dead, but he's kind of held captive by Obito. But yeah. Let me pause real quick. Really, all there's the Akatsuki is Kakuzu, Konan, Nagato, and Kakakuzu, Konan, and Nagato, Zetsu, and Obito. That's really just it. So with just them, well, they're met outside by actually, no, I could see Nagato being dead. So Konan, Kakuzu, and Obito, and Zetsu. And Zetsu's holding a kunai to a very beaten up Jiraiya's neck as they walk outside. Fugaku and Naruto are kind of nervous because Fugaku's current Hokage, but also does acknowledge Jiraiya as a threat greater than him. Not a threat, but as an ally greater than him in power. Before Obito can do anything, Naruto appeared, grabbing Jiraiya and disappearing. But as he reappeared, Zetsu popped out of the ground and tapped a kunai right into Jiraiya's heart. Naruto immediately yelled for Jiraiya, Zetsu smirks, saying, "As strong as you are, you're still a pretty simple boy, aren't you, Naruto? You took the spot farthest away from all of us, and still, you thought that was a good idea." Naruto immediately yelled in agony. He gave his running gun, and immediately held his hand out as a gigantic, like dragon, I didn't say dragon, but gigantic pillar of earth came from the ground, and went so fast at Obito couldn't even dodge it. So as Obito's grabbed by the dragon head, immediately explode, and Obito's mask is blown apart, and Konan tries to send paper at Naruto, only to be grabbed by Sai, who just back the head with the butt of the sword and knocks her out. So yeah. So, with this we can just move on to basically just, I guess really just Obito being defeated by Naruto at this point. It's not even in a fight. Naruto is fueled by rage, but is also so skillful it wouldn't matter. People say, "Oh, you fight sloppy when you're angry." Naruto is basically a fighting genius, but also angry at his grandfather's death. He would have still beat Obito to hell, easily. And Naruto at this point had to press Hagoromo. Even if Hagoromo is angry, Obito can't beat him. So, yeah, Naruto is basically at this point, like, just... Imagine like Hagoromo, but like times 50, and then make him angry. So it's like times 55. So, yeah, Naruto almost killed Obito until he was stopped by Kakashi, and Kakashi killed him himself. But Obito did admit to everything he did. Yeah. But before Kakashi killed Obito, well, Naruto honestly looked at Obito's face, saying like there's one ring on it, and told Obito that Obito can live in one condition. Use my rebirth. And honestly, Obito scoffed, saying, "I'm not that dumb that I'm the ability to Rinnegan, but no, I refuse to." Dry did kill someone dear to me, and I refuse to revive him. Naruto tightly closed his eyes, and Kakashi would slit Obito's throat, making blood splash everywhere. Naruto then tears the Rinnegan out of Obito's face. He goes over to Sasuke. Sasuke, at this point, like, Naruto and Sasuke were always cool. Like the moment that Fugoku became Hokage, Naruto and Sasuke's curse of hatred broke. Well, at least their internal cycle broke. Actually, not even the moment Fugoku became Hokage. It kind of just happened over time. But while Sasuke started one of his eyes, and Naruto put the ring on Sasuke's face. And Sasuke and Naruto both meet Hagoromo immediately, as they're both gifted 6th chakra. Sasuke's Rinnegan went from being basic to having Tomoe in it now. So, now with this, we fast forward to basically just Boruto. And Naruto had become the 6th Hokage. So with him being the 6th Hokage, we go on, probably, like, I would say, I guess Shin Uchiha would be a good thing, but it's not really a challenge, really. Literally, the moment that Sasuke would encounter, like Shin, he'd kill him. Or the moment Shin would attack Sasuke while he was meeting Sarada. Well, when Shin arrived, Sasuke just appeared behind him, cut his head clean off in seconds. Like, Sasuke left stronger than he was in Boruto. He's very strong. Then after that, we can just move on, probably just to, I would say, I guess, Jigen now. Or not Jigen, Momoshiki and Kinshiki. But Sasuke fights them both. But he has allies, like Naruto can travel across dimensions. He has Rinnegan. And he basically, like, imagine, like, put a ring on user in front of Naruto, and he probably has their abilities. He has multiple. So, we can also sense across dimensions. He can sense Sasuke because of Sasuke's Rinnegan. He can sense Momoshiki because of Momoshiki's Rinnegan. He can sense Uroshiki's Rinnegan. Also, Tsuneri's mollywopped, so it doesn't matter about him. But still, but when it came down to it, Naruto sent Sasuke fighting Momoshiki and Kenshiki, and sent in Fugaku Fugaku, Sai, and Itachi. And Fugaku may be old, but he can still throw hands like a god. Like Fugaku had surpassed Minato. At this point, like Fugaku had surpassed Minato pretty easily. So Fugaku, Itachi, and Sai began helping at Sasuke. Helping Sasuke and Shinjiki. And they do it pretty easily. Sasuke's honestly holding back so he can just see all his abilities. But Sasuke was still struggling a bit, even as he was holding back. But then Mochiki arrived, and Sasuke says he'll fight Mochiki at full power. He won't hold back at all. But Naruto arrived in front of everyone, and Mochiki even opened his hands, like absorbed Kinshiki's body with the last bits of life. Before anyone even saw it, Naruto tore out both of Mochiki's eyes and the two handheld Rinnegan. And for Naruto's knowledge of otsutsuki, he just ate them easily. He ate the eyes. And everyone felt his power grow in an insane amount. His horns even got bigger. Also, I was curious about Naruto having kids. He has a lot of them. Like, he has an ungodly amount of kids. Like, Karin, Hinata. Name a woman in Naruto isn't, like, taken by, like, any member of the Konoha 12. Naruto may have a kid with them. Honestly, just to bring those Otsutsuki and Senju power back, but also a little bit of the Uzumaki into Konoha. So, yeah. Also, Naruto actually was telling the truth. So, basically, anyone that's from a hidden village that was part of a subjects was sent back to their village. Or if the Konoha was almost overflowing with strong warriors, the villagers bought them. So, yeah, it's that easy. So every village is on pretty good terms with the Hidden Leaf. Point where Naruto had actually pulled Kurama out of himself and gave Kurama just let Kurama roam wild. Even told the villagers to do that with their tailed beasts. So yeah, the tailed beasts even have their sanctuary with their seals. And if you go in, well, illegally, or without permission from any of the Kage, well, you're burned to ash. So, in second, like you only walk in there without permission from the Kage or a seal from the Kage, you burst into ash and die. So, yeah. And the sanctuary spans like a whole country. So, yeah. But this kind of just the whole thing. Not just Kurama, but just has like a lot of power in himself. Plus, he went to the moon and still fought Toneri. And he kind of also took a Byakugan from the Hyugas. You heard about the legend, and the Hyugas volunteered to give Naruto a Rinnegan. A Byakugan. And Naruto kind of honestly couldn't put it in his own eye. But he gave him a Tenseigan and Rinnegan in the same eye. So he's kind of broken in general. Like, Naruto cannot activate an eye without having an overpowered dojutsu in it. There's like the Tenseigan makes up for lack of the Nine Tails. So yeah. But still, Moshi without any eyes or anything is just killed. But then when he's killed by Naruto, he tries to use a karma seal on him. But Naruto just absorbed the karma seal. And when he realized how strong it was, he had the idea. He had an idea. At least all the karma seals were on his kids. But then before he did it, he kind of just began editing it so that he would take them over if he dies. Well, he won't die. He's immortal. Also, Orochimaru was granted immortality by Naruto. He gave Orochimaru a few souls. And Orochimaru did get immortality. It's all he wanted. He just wanted to live long enough to master every jutsu in the world. And Naruto has the same idea. But Naruto basically placed karma seal on the strongest kids, being Himawari, Boruto, and Kawaki. Kawaki is not born to the same dad, he's born to Naruto. And he is the son of Naruto, and find else. I could see, I'd see Kawaki being the son of, Shizuka. Shizuka is the girl that Naruto beat in a fight. And then when Naruto beat her, she said that Naruto had to be her husband. This will happen in the time skip, but he says he wasn't ready for marriage in this one. So, yeah. Yeah, so Naruto's son is like Kawaki, and he was born to Shizuka and Naruto. And he's also the oldest of Naruto's kids. He's 15 years old. So yeah. Kawaki's given a karma seal, and all the karma seals that Naruto has are given different abilities. But by the time Jigen arrives, Jigen wants Kawaki's body because he heard about the karma seal on one of the missions that Kawaki was on. Kawaki's a Jonin at the age of 15, so yeah. Honestly, it wasn't even through preference. When it comes to Naruto's kids, Naruto isn't allowed to give them any ranking of ninja. They all graduate the academy normally. They take the exams. Kawaki's skill granted him the level of Chunin. So yeah, not Chunin, Jonin. But yeah, so we move on to just Jigen arriving to take Kawaki. Kabuki and Jigen fight, and Jigen is amazing how strong Kabuki is. And Kabuki's armor still gives him a running ability that's very similar to Sasuke's whole, like, swapping places with things ability. But the one Kabuki tried to, like, basically avoid one of the attacks that Jigen was going to send out. Well, Jigen did land a hit on Kabuki. Kabuki coughed up blood, only from the smirk, and the blood, since, like, we're sending bullets at like, Jigen. Jigen's penetrated one of his eyes, and with that, he gets to back a bunch of wondering what kind of ability that is. Until Naruto actually looks at Jigen's eyes bleeding, and then would use his own Senju gun, and began basically sending all the blood thrown Jigen's body and basically killing him from the inside out. By the time he's done, well, Jigen's dead. So, yeah. So, Jigen's dead now. And he has a karma on Code, and that's it. But, yeah. So, Code would just eventually attack Konoha and just die himself. Which, honestly, end this what if. But, if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Adios.